Hi everyone! So, I just want to say that right off the bat, this is not going to be a video focusing on, um, everything that's kind of been circling around the internet and, all the Byler proof or attacking the Duffer Brothers or saying how mad I am, for the Duffer Brothers not pursuing Byler. It's not about discrediting the Malevolent believers, and, it's not about queerbait proof, and it's not about, the Duffer Brothers making money off queerbaiting, it's not about that. My cat wants on it. I am going to be giving you something different. And this video is going to be different because I am different. I sound like Will Byers. But if you've watched me, you've always known that this channel is always about, spirituality and the deeper meaning of things and, what I've learned with spirituality, And with everything that's going on right now, I am tired of the hate. I am tired of people being competitive and, hateful and bullying each other and attacking each other online and, just being completely rude. Hang on, my cat wants out. I'm trying to keep the door closed because I've got roommates and I'm trying not to be so loud, but I do have passion for, something like this. And, I actually did already try to make this video before. I recorded the whole damn thing, and then the entire video I was wearing my glasses, and you could just see the glare of the screen, and you could see my face, and it was so unserious and so unprofessional, and I was distracted, and I was so pissed. So, I'm gonna try to remake this video again, and I'm gonna try to say what I want, but also the video was like almost an hour, and I'm trying not to make this video an hour. But the whole point of, me making this video is to, not discredit anything, and give credit to, what may. But, people are allowed to like whoever they want, in a fictional show, like, no matter the conclusion of something. Like, you're allowed to like whatever the heck you want. It's why we have free will. And it just sucks because people don't feel safe enough to think freely online anymore. And, that's why I got rid of all my social medias. But, this video is not about entertaining and enabling the hate, It's about finally being seen and what the symbolism of Byler was. Hang on. Not just an on-screen romance and how cute it was. It's about the symbolism and what it truly means if you take a deeper look. My cat is so distracting. Okay. And if you take a deeper look into the symbolism of Byler and what it meant, this is a spiritual channel, and all I want to give you is, my share with my spiritual experiences. And because it's Valentine's Day, I want to spread the love, This is my Valentine's gift to the Pride community, because I am part of the Pride community, and this is something I hold near and dear in my heart, And I have poured my heart into making this video. Like, I have poured my heart into thinking about what I want to say in this video. I have poured my heart into, making sure I am getting my point across, and not just talking about, Byler this and Byler that, right? So, trust me, watch it till the end. It's going to be worth it, because this is about symbolism and what we truly are as a community. But first, a little bit of background for some understanding. So, I started watching Stranger Things I think I might have been 25. I may have been 24 or even 23, but it was either early to mid 20s, and I started watching it because my cousin was really sad that she couldn't really watch it anymore because, or with someone, because her sister had passed away, and they had watched it together, and they theorized together about the show. And I remember going up to her and I was like, hey, listen, you know, I've been really wanting to watch Stranger Things lately, and because I've heard about it, and this was like 6 or 7 years after the show came out, because I was 18 when the show came out. And, you know, even though I'm not her, I grew up with you, I was like a sister, you know, I don't identify as a girl anymore, but, you know, I didn't say that, obviously, this is way before I realized that, but I was like, hey, I was like your sister growing up, and, you know, I love theorizing about things. I fell down the Coraline theory hole, and the Legends of Zelda hole, and the Salad Fingers hole, you know, I wouldn't mind watching with you, and, you know, I can theorize with you, and I may not be her, but it'll be new theories, and, you know, you'll have someone to continue watching the show with and just enjoy the show with, because that's what she would have wanted for you. She would have wanted you to be happy and move on and watch it. And as soon as I said that, she was like, all right, let's do this, let's fucking go, yeah, let's watch it. So that's why I started, but I also wanted to start it. I just didn't want to start it by myself. And... you know, when I first started watching it, I didn't know if I would choose Byler, you know, as like a main, you know, like couple to support, you know. My cousin really liked Byler, and for good reason. And she didn't shove it down my throat, but she talked very highly of Byler. And it was during the show, and I felt like a lot of that was, you know, in my view, like I was kind of like, didn't get to see what else there was about the show. And I remember when I was watching the show, the first few seasons, I was really Malevolent support, I was. And I felt like when she kept talking about Byler, I didn't have a choice of free will to choose who I wanted to like in the show, you know, because I was really liking the chemistry that was developing between Mike and Levin. And so when we finished the show, a couple days later, I went home and I rewatched the whole show from season 1 to season 4 again. And I was like, I get to make a choice. Like, I don't have someone talking in my ear the entire time, you know, telling me all this stuff. You know, I get to experience my own you know, love for the characters. And through seasons 1 through 3, I did not think it was going to happen. I didn't see the support. I mean, there is a scene in season 2 about them saying crazy together that makes me think differently. But I remember watching season 2 and thinking, hey, they're just buds, you know? And it wasn't until... this is so funny. It wasn't until the season 4 finale that I was turned Byler for myself, and knew for good reason it was what I decided for myself without someone else talking so heavily about it, you know. But that's just passion. People get excited, you know. It didn't bother me. I just wanted to know that I had my own choice. And it wasn't until the very ending scene where they framed Mike and Eleven, you know, between Jancy and Jopper, like, or I guess I should say framed Byler between Jancy and Jopper with that intense music and Elle by herself. Like, when that happened, I believed it was going to happen in the 5th season. Like, that was the only thing, before getting into the fandom, that made me think, oh, gosh, this is gonna happen, this Byler's gonna happen, this is amazing. And, you know, honestly, if Byler's not gonna happen, if you're not gonna pursue it from the beginning, you know, like, why not have Elle with Mike, and then we'll look at the sky in that scene, do his little oosey-goosey, like, you know, like, that would have been more an intense scene, him looking in the sky by himself, because then it goes to show, like, the season 5's more about Will. But anyway, after all that, I I started to get into the fandom, and that's when I really started supporting the Byler, you know, idea, and especially the queer coding of Mike, you know, like that really put some support on that. And how do you accidentally write queer coding someone? I just don't buy it. I just don't buy that you queer coded this person only to have him not end up with the love of his life. I just don't buy it. But you know, the reasons I support Byler is because it is so magical, you know, the parallel conversations, the buildup of all the couples, you know, season 1, we wanted Jonathan and Nancy, we got their kiss in season 2, you know, season 1, we wanted, some people wanted Mike and 11, we got their kissing, like their makeout, you know, in season 3, and then Hopper and Joyce were, you know, Jopper, we finally got their kiss in season 4, and I was like, oh, season 5, we're finally gonna get the kiss. Every single season, we got a new kiss of a couple that had been built up, and I thought, hey, the main couple, it's getting built up, yeah, oh my gosh, yes. You know, that was amazing. And then the Murray conversation with Jonathan and Nancy, and how there's a Wheeler and a Byler, you know, Wheelers and Byers, you know, and how a Wheeler, you know, Nancy Wheeler can't say I love you to Jonathan, you know, and that just really solidified it for me. And there was also so much foreshadowing with the show. There was music within the scenes, and there was foreshadowing with blue and yellow. But I'm not sure about that anymore. I think the Duffers just really like blue and yellow, because I've rewatched some scenes, and I've seen Mike and 11 be foreshadowed with blue and yellow. So I might have to put an opinion in that. But the whole point of foreshadowing with color coding is that color is magical. If you're a chemist, you know that color is magical. And that honestly is just so perfect. And a lot of shows focus heavy on physicality and sex, and it's like really distracting. Like you never get to see like true emotion, and like, you know, only get to see like the physicality because sex sells, you know, it's Hollywood, it's, you know, hold on, oh, my throat hurts. Anyway, it's Hollywood, you know, sex sells, like, you know, that's what the people want, right? You know, but not many shows I've seen, at least me, you know, show that much attention paid in detail to so many different factors to a gay couple. Like, a lot of factors: music, color, foreshadowing, parallels, especially a show about alternate dimensions, parallel conversations, you know, all that. Like, that shows thought, and that shows deep thought, and deep thought shows care, and it was emotional, and it was tender. Yeah, it was so beautifully tender. And it was a representation for love knows no limits. Like, love truly knows no limits. And had they pursued Byler, it would have been a big message because it was so powerful. And I want to talk about how powerful it really was. You know, and I know this video may seem like it's Byler video, but I promise you it's not. This is for my LGBTQ community. This is for the rainbow community. This is for Pride. This is the backbone. I will eventually get to my point and speak for what I want to say about our community and how we shouldn't be sidelined, you know, and all that. But I have to start from the beginning and then get to my way. We're not going to rush, you know. We're not going to rush like the Duffers were when Netflix producers rushed them to get that final script out. I mean, that just ruined a 10-year project. I mean, it disregards everything you wrote, you know? Like, so anyway, let's talk about how powerful it was. I was with my sister when I watched the finale. I wasn't with my cousin because we had a falling out recently, but I remember I at least had someone to watch it with, and I was watching it with my sister, and she also is a Byler supporter. And I remember thinking the entire time, like, oh my gosh, this is gonna happen, is it gonna happen, you know? And I remember when the door had closed, and then all the Heroes music finished, I went, and I I had a little talk with my sister for like maybe 5 or 10 minutes. I was like, hey, I really gotta go to the bathroom. And I went in the bathroom and I cried. And there was a reason I cried, because I knew how important the meaning and symbolism of Byler is and was. Like, I knew what we were losing, and I want to explain to you guys what we were losing. And to me, it was so disheartening on so many levels. Like, and it's, it's different because, like, never have I ever been so upset and sad about a gay couple not getting together on screen before. I've never cried before about it. I never felt, inconsistency, like, with my feeling. Like I was always able to get over it really fast in other shows. Never ever in my life had I ever cried about it. And I cried hard. And I got what everyone is now calling, and I still have it, but I'm getting over it, the Byler depression, which is sad. But it hit then, but I was sick, like really sick at the time, and not feeling good, so I couldn't really feel my emotions. So about a month after the finale came out, recently the Byler depression hit hard. And it hit so hard that I actually physically could not bring myself to get up and go to school. I actually missed an entire week of school, couldn't get to my college classes because I cried a lot. And I just wanted to bed rot and watch a bunch of YouTube and just cry. I was like, I don't want to live in a world where we don't have Byler because it symbolized something so meaningful. But then something showed up on my feed. And it was like a bunch of Byler AI edits and of them kissing, and this person who made really good edits. And when I saw the kisses, my like heart, like, like you could just see that within AI, that how much potential this couple really had and how much they were meant to be in the show. And it proves chemistry, because my heart spiked, like, harder than ever, like, before, like, when I was, like, watching. Like, I've never had, like, such a zing, and that was just AI. Can you imagine how it would have been had we seen an actual scene between them? I remember before watching this finale, I told my sister, I was like, Ryan, I'm not going to be able to handle the Byler kiss. I can't. I'm going to throw up. I'm going to puke. I'm going to cry. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be amazing. My stomach's not going to handle it. My heart's not going to handle it. I mean, it feels like this is it. Like, it's been 10 years. This is the best message that anyone could ever send, and I felt that chemistry, That's how you know it's real, is when you feel it within your heart. And that's how powerful and meaningful it truly was, because they had wrote something with depth, something that reached our actual fucking organ, like actual fucking heart, like, and it was daring, considering the world that we live into today, and like, especially in the 80s, like when like being gay is hard, and considering like all the Hollywood universe and all the bad messages that have been sent out there through writing and through physicality and through, over-sexualizing things, like, it was daring, Nobody had ever pursued a rainbow couple, and I am saying rainbow, yes. Nobody had ever pursued a rainbow couple in a show that beautifully before, like, insanely beautiful. And it was beautiful because the rainbow community finally felt seen and heard. Hold on. Wait. Anyway, we finally felt like someone had seen us and heard us. Like someone had finally felt like and understood. Like we felt like we were understood on a deeper level than anyone could ever understand. On a spiritual level, And because that's what free love is like, without all the physicality getting in the way and distractions, getting in the way. I mean, that's, when you take that out of the equation, there's beauty. And we felt that someone cared about the deeper core connection of gay love. and free love, you know, and what free love truly, truly means. We thought, you know, someone had wanted to show the world this and say fuck you to all the superficial, you know, societal standards, you know, getting shoved down our throats every single day, you know. And the Duffers, like, they're rich, they're making a show, they're part of Hollywood, you know, they had power, like, they were sending a message, like, they had power to send a message, and it was a positive message. And that message reached and changed people who were, like, close-minded. Like, even non-supportive straight people had changed their minds. And I know this because I became part of the fandom. And I don't have any social medias, but I saw a lot of stuff on YouTube, a lot of TikTok stuff. And I saw a lot of people changing their minds and saying they changed their minds and supporting Byler. And changing their mind about free love and realizing that love is just love. It doesn't matter as gender. It goes farther than gender. It goes deeper than that. It's about emotion and connection and magic and passion and real authenticity. Something deeper than superficial. It changed the minds of so many of those close-minded people. That is persuasion at its fucking prime. Like, amazing. And by the way, there's a lot of pauses in this video because I do have a sore throat, so I'm trying, you know, but I'm trying to stay true to the video, you know. And I know that there are other reasons that people are heartbroken and devastated and upset that we didn't get Byler, but I guarantee you the rest of what I'm about to say is the reason why we are truly upset. The number one, like, main fucking reason. You know, Byler potential was beyond higher than, like, any mountain on this planet. Like, we didn't get to see the kinetic of the potential that had been built up for, like, a freaking decade, you know? Like, therefore, it's left unfinished. And as you'll know, an unfinished feeling is very uncomfortable. You know, you get, not isolated, what's it called? Silent treatment, and everything feels unfinished, and it's just, like, uncomfortable as all can be, you know? An unfinished feeling is not comfortable unless it's, like, something that needs to be left unfinished, but this felt like it needed to be complete, you know? It's like looking at the beauty of a mountain, but never actually finishing the climb and reaching the peak, you know, and quitting for no good reason either. All that you worked for just goes away. It's gone. And that chemistry that was built up for a decade has been destroyed. Like, literally, like, full on destroyed. And I feel bad for the Duffers. And obviously not too much. They're their own life. They're rich. They're whatever, you know, but I feel a little bad for them because they had the perfect chance to be the number one writers ever in the entire world for good reason. For so many good reasons. And they didn't take it. They didn't take that shot. And they could have had something beyond, they could have had something to be proud of beyond belief. And if you watch the making of the finale, you know that the Duffers were not proud of their finale. They were rushed, and the script, they were not happy. Everyone was just, like, getting tired of this shit. Like, oh, we just want to finish this. It wasn't about completing a project. It was about, let's get this done in a certain time frame. You can tell they're not proud of it. I mean, it's bad. You know, they could have been proud of a beautiful message within a fictional story. Like, a fictional story. Like, you know, it's not like it was a documentary. And it's a beautiful message. And we as a community, you know, as a rainbow community, have been fighting for that message for so long. Like, a message that will forever be hard to write and show others in such a beautiful form is now lost. Like, it took them 10 years to form that message, and that message is gone. unless the Duffers want to fix things, but, you know, I'm not gonna hope. You know, it wasn't just another gay love story. It was creative, it was magical, it was beautiful. Beauty is magic. And we lost that magic, you know, and maybe the Duffers didn't want to have that magic because, I mean, Elle symbolized the magic, and her magic needed to go away, but Byler would have been the perfect substitute for that magic, especially after Mike's quote, you know, with 11 in the upside down, we could really use some magic up here, you know, that was powerful. I remember when I was watching that show, I was like, oh, it's gonna happen, you know? I was like, oh, no. And then, like, the ending was happening, and I was like, oh, wait, Will is the last one to, like, leave the basement. Maybe him and Mike are gonna have a conversation. He's the last one putting the book up there, you know? And I remember thinking it was gonna happen, and it didn't, and that door closed, and we just got slammed in our face, how shitty that feeling really was, to not pursue such a beautiful couple. And honestly, from a different standpoint, you know, not, you know, let's shift gears a little bit. I was ready to actually say goodbye before the finale, to the happening of Byler. Like, I was actually watching the season 5, and I was like, oh my gosh, this show is, like, making sense after all these years. Like, after that beautiful Robin quote about her finding herself and her always having the answers all along, you know, was very beautiful. And I was thinking, oh, you know what? Maybe Byler isn't going to happen. Maybe Will is seeing that there are no signals and Mike is not reciprocating. And it just made sense in the moment. And honestly, that is perfect and unexpected, because everyone expected Byler to happen. You don't expect it not to happen. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so perfect. Like, as long as it doesn't get sidelined and Mike and Will can have, like, a real conversation and show that they truly are best friends, then this is it. Like, this is what the show was meant to be. Like, this is actually a perfect way to say goodbye to Byler, and my heart is, like, feeling satisfied, you know? My heart was feeling satisfied in a way. I need to blow my nose. Hold on. Oh my gosh, I hope I'm not getting sick. I still have 4 weeks of class left. But yeah, I was ready. I was ready to say a blissful goodbye to the idea of Byler happening. I was actually in an acceptance era, and I thought the Duffers were writing out that couple perfectly before the finale happened. Like, I was willing to accept it, you know. I felt like it was going the right direction. I felt like there was satisfaction, you know. Satisfaction within my, like, heart, satisfaction within my brain and the way I was thinking. You know, it all made sense to me. Every single moment it had led up to, all the foreshadowing, made sense. But then that god-awful coming out scene with that Tammy bullshit is what changed everything. And, you know, like, I remember watching it, and I'm like, thinking, like, what kind of, like, you bullshit is this? Like, first off, Mike and Will have been friends since they were kids. It's definitely not his Tammy, you know, that's his heart. And I remember watching it, I'm thinking, they are sidelining this shit so much. And then there was that 40-second tower conversation in the finale, and I'm, like, thinking, what kind of let's sweep this bullshit under the, like, what, no, it's not bullshit. I was like, what kind of let's sweep this under the rug bullshit is this, you know? Like, you know, that ruined, like, I remember when I was watching the show, and I was watching that scene, and I was like, after the whole finale, I was thinking, that scene doesn't look like it belongs in the finale. Like, I'm wondering, like, I literally said, I wonder if Noah went to the Duffers and told them that they needed to write off Byler the right way. And, because he understands what it's like to be sidelined, and we shouldn't have been sidelined. And Noah be the one to do it, because he's part of the community. And this was before I even knew he went to the Duffers to make that decision. Like, that is how intuitive and magical we can be and how magical I am, because I fucking knew that scene did not belong. It didn't feel like it fit. It didn't feel like it was right, and it felt like it was written after the finale was written. I'm not joking. Like, this is, you can feel this. Like, that's how you know. And that scene, I feel bad that that's the scene we had to get, but it ruined my acceptance of the loss of Byler, because I realized what it truly meant on a deeper level. And, you know, oh my god, hold on. Oi, my back hurts. I'm okay though. I'm like leaning forward. I could just lean back, but I don't really want to. Anyway, and all that build up without intending to pursue Byler would have made complete sense. All the foreshadowing, all the colors, all the music, everything, you know, that they had been working up for. If Will and Mike just had a meaningful conversation in the end, and we didn't get that meaningful conversation. You know, I went through it in my head, and it made sense. And, you know, because that's how life really is. You know, sometimes when someone doesn't like you, your crush doesn't get reciprocated. And the best thing to do when that happens, if your gay friend or your rainbow friend tells you they like you and you can't reciprocate, it is important to have a conversation with them. It is not important. If you ignore it, it'll make them feel like something is wrong with them. And that's not being a true friend. That's not supportive. You know, I didn't think that Duffers were a bad thing, you know. And if I read, I'm not sure if it's true, but I saw it was confirmed by Duffers that they're Jancy parallel. And if Byler is Jancy parallel, then why couldn't we have gotten a conversation like that with Byler, you know? Like, why couldn't we have had them in a life or death threatening scene, you know, telling each other how much they love each other, but they just can't be together, because that's just, like, not what it is. Although, they're, like I said, they're not trauma bonded. They've been friends since they were kids. But at least why couldn't we, you know, what was holding the Duffers back from, like, taking that into consideration and strengthening their show even more? Like, that could have, like, really strengthened your show. Like, if you really didn't want to pursue Byler, then that was the one backbone that everyone was counting on. And when I was watching the finale, I remembered that the writing no longer made sense to me. And because of, like, the sidelining, and I was like, you know, sidelining things are not what the Duffers are about, you know, like, because everyone else has had meaningful, deep conversations written in past seasons, and the current one, literally season 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we get meaningful, you know, beautiful conversations, and we couldn't get that one conversation, you know? Why put so much love and care into the others and not the main parallel? Like, why, you know? You know, it's upsetting that the canvas we saw being developed over a decade wasn't framed correctly, because it never got finished. And that truly is what is upsetting. You know, it was art, and oh my gosh. I'm, like, sweating my butt off. I was, like, thinking about changing my clothes, but no, I like the black vibes. But anyway, now we have to say goodbye to this beautiful art that could have been, but never was. Like, and it was art that, like, spoke to the heart. And it's so on the nose, too, because Will is an artist, and Will is magical. Like, how on the nose were the Duffers, like, before the finale, you know? So, with the whole being said, really didn't want this video to be more than half an hour, but it's gonna be, you know. We transition into a little bit more calm. We transition into this. Stranger Things was phenomenal, and Byler spoke to the majority of outcasts and what it represented, especially to the Pride community, because of what it symbolized for us. It symbolized something, and Byler and all the work into the execution of Byler and the idea of Byler was beautiful. That's my word for it. That's all I can say. It was truly beyond beautiful, you know? And the reason it was beautiful, because we never got something personal like that before. We never got to experience a show that had been built up from an episode 1 to something so beautiful without it being so gross and distracting and disgusting. It was respect and beautiful. And not only was it beautiful, it was chemistry. And the chemistry wasn't rushed. The chemistry was so organic. Like, the pace it flowed, was so natural and perfectly balanced. The Duffers had let them grow into their chemistry so well. Like, without the finale being as part of this statement, their chemistry was a level of chemistry I wish I could have every day with someone. Every single fucking day. That is amazing. That's a little jealous, but, it happened, I'm pretty sure a lot of people were jealous of it. So, anyway, the chemistry was really good. It was so beautiful and touching, and I love chemistry. I am a scientist, and chemistry is beautiful, and when chemistry is destroyed, it's upsetting. And that is why I cried. That is why people are upset. That is why people are devastated. Because we lost that chemistry. We fucking lost it. We lost the meaning behind it. It is gone. The symbolism was completely, stomped on and just kicked out of the way. There is no slow burn. It's literally bam, get out of the way. And that just hurt my hands. And with that, there is lingering in our heart, there's a feeling of being robbed and stuck, and we feel unseen and unheard once again. And so we feel silenced, and I am ending the silence, and I'm speaking up for the LGBTQ community. And I'm putting an end to the silence and all the sidelining and all the, shunning that we face, every day as a community, That is the whole point and message of this video, the whole point that I'm trying to get to. Yeah, yes, I use Byler as an example, but that's because I'm so passionate about the meaning behind it. It wasn't just these two cute guys that were gonna get together. It was something more. And oh my gosh, I'm burning up in here. I want to open the window, but I don't want people to hear me making a Byler video. I just don't want to. I want this to be more personal to me right now, and then if people watch it, then people will watching it. But that is how powerful Byler was, because it makes you think and there's meaning behind it, and that meaning got me here. So here I am. You better listen up. For all the haters. I know what a hater is. I know the true meaning deep down inside the hater of a rainbow community, because I was once a hater myself. Not of the community, but I used to be a hater of transgender people specifically. And I didn't hate them. I just didn't understand them and accept them. Even though I had friends that were trans, and my cousin was trans at the time. But one of my cousins was trans at the time. And I was like, I just don't agree with this. And it's because I was jealous. I was so jealous that people could just live and change their gender if they wanted to. I thought I had to live a woman forever. And that's not okay when you're mistaken and you don't realize your hatred is based out of jealousy. I realized that I wanted to be a guy. And I actually identify as non-binary. I don't identify as a guy, but my pronouns are he, him, they, them. I don't identify as trans because I'm not really going to go through all the surgeries. So that, to me, in my, I don't feel like it would match up, And, I realized, wow, I've been jealous the whole time. And now I realize other people have been jealous, and for all the haters of our LGBTQ community, we already know who you are. We know what you are. We can see that you are afraid to shine. And just like Will was afraid to shine. But that doesn't solve anything. Hate doesn't solve anything. Just like Stranger Things, all the best decisions in that show were made out of love. When Will had finally accepted himself, he became magical and unlocked powers. And I related to that scene because that's exactly how I felt. Not only when I accepted, I realized that I liked only women, but when I realized what my gender identity truly was, I felt so magical. Like, I felt like I could fly. It was so freeing. And I'm pretty sure that's how other people feel too, especially when I talk to people in the community. That is exactly how we feel, because we are breaking through those chains that have held us down our entire life. Like, for me, I didn't realize who I truly was till I'm 27. And I'm 28 years old. But now I finally understand. We understand. We know once we break through those chains, we understand what true, unconditional, authentic love really is. We know the true meaning behind it, and we see the magic in that meaning. We know what unstandardized, unconditional love is. And, and yeah, heterosexual love is love, but people who are in heterosexual relationships don't have to fight for the right to love. And that love isn't a right. Love is a feeling. Love is supposed to be freeing. It's in our hearts. And we as a community have to fight for the right to love twice as hard. We have to fight twice as hard, even more so, just for the right to feel a feeling that comes naturally. We have to fight for free love nowadays, all day, every day. Love is love. And Byler was free love. And fear had nothing on Byler. It had been pushed to its fullest, pursued to its fullest, When you fight fear, you gain back that power, How powerful, imagine this. How powerful would it have been, let's say, Elle was, and everyone else is winded from fighting the Mind Flayer, right? And Mike and Will are looking at each other, and they're like, let's end this once and for all, together, just you and me. Everything we worked for, everything that has been built up, everything that has led to this moment, everything we've been through, this final battle, just you and me, we aren't afraid of anything anymore. Let's fucking go, man. And they hold hands, and there's some epic music playing, and they're running in slow-mo, and there's a storm in the background. How powerful would that have been? Every time I, think of a scene like that, when I was thinking of a scene like that, I was thinking about it for so many hours. I was distracted in class. And then when I was finally taking a bus somewhere, I actually cried while I was on the bus, because we lost something so powerful and beautiful. I just imagine them running in a storm together with some cool epic music, being like, let's fucking go, this is it, let's do it, this is free love, this is what love truly is, How powerful would that have been? How powerful would that symbolism have been, But no one ever takes the shot. No one ever fucking does the unexpected. And that's pretty upsetting, We lost something beautiful. And my heart, and that's why I cry when I think about it, because my heart knows what we lost, No wonder Noah was so, motivated to approach the Duffers, despite being afraid, and, because he's strong, and he knew what he was fighting for, and, all that, oh my gosh, I swear it's 1,000,000 degrees in here. And, at that point in the show, because you can't go back, he was fighting for the best friendship and showing the strength of the bond and fighting for the LGBTQ community because he deserves that. We deserved proper closure, and, we don't deserve to be sidelined. He and I and many others a part of the show, I bet, involved, agree that we Byler supporters deserved a, peaceful closure, we deserved a proper goodbye, and we didn't get that goodbye. And, especially if they were truly meant to be, best friends and Byler wasn't going to happen from the beginning, having a conversation, it could have symbolized that best friend love can conquer too. And I know how that feels because I have a best friend, I also have a platonic soulmate, but Mike and Will are not platonic, that's for sure. I have a best friend. I know what it feels like. And, love is love, and love can conquer all fear. And if they were just best friends conquering the fear, then that would have been, that would have sent a positive message too. But we all know the truth. We all know what really was supposed to happen. Come on, let's not beat around the bush, and it's not about the proof that's circling around, right? Even though proof is, helpful for argument's sake. It's about what we feel in our hearts. It's about the feeling that is within our heart. Our heart truly knows what was supposed to happen with the show. Our hearts are more powerful than we realize. I did not realize how powerful the heart was until I unchained these chains. For all my life, I felt like I had chains on my heart. And then I realized who I was. Those chains fucking exploded off one by one. So here I am with Byler symbolism as my motivation to face my fear online because I am so tired of being limited in this world. I am so tired of caring what other people think. I am so tired of trying to find the perfect words to please people who have not a damn care in the world about me or, who I am and what I represent, And if this video is cringe, then so be it. I mean, it's definitely less cringe than Will's coming out scene, right? Am I right? It was so bad. Okay, I'm sorry. Every time I get secondhand embarrassment, even when I'm alone, when I see that, it's bad. But that's not saying anything on the actor. That's literally saying stuff on the writing, But anyway, I deserve to speak my truth. I deserve to be free. I deserve... Oh, God, frick. My back is killing me. I deserve to be free. I deserve to be on here, on this planet, as much as anyone else, and I deserve to follow my heart. Listen to your heart, people. Listen to your heart. Your heart speaks, louder than words. And I know who I am, and only you truly know who you are. Only you truly know. So, that's what this video is for. This is who my message is to. This one's for the outcasts. This one's for the artists. This one's for the colorful souls. For those who feel unheard and unseen. Oh my gosh, it's like I feel, because I felt that for the longest time. For those whose real identities get pushed to the side, which was me for a very long time. For those who get swept under the rug without a second fucking thought. For those who feel like they have to censor themselves every single day of their freaking life, which is not okay. For those of you who feel like they don't belong on this planet, this is the ones for the people who know what unconditional, true love is, what it truly means to love. The ones who see the true magic in others. the ones who can see beyond the filters, the blindings that are there. Happy Valentine's Day. You're strong, you're beautiful, you're fearless, you're loved, you're magical. We're all magical. Always be yourself, because love is love. Love goes above and beyond and is what drives our hearts every single day. Love others and yourself, because love knows no limits. Just like Byler. And I mean, that symbolism is never truly lost within, because we as a community can keep it alive by drawing fan art, writing fanfics, crafting things, making AI edits, which is what helped me through my Byler depressions. Oh, excuse me. And making fun videos like this, of course. I mean, videos like this, it's what's helping me, I don't want to keep bed rotting in the Byler upset, So for all my Byler depression babes out there, take a second to treat yourself, because you deserve it. I did just drop that on the floor. Honestly, actually, it is empty. I wish I could just take one out and be like, yep, you treat yourself, you deserve it. But they're so good, I already ate them. You deserve it, just like I deserve it. We all deserve it. We all deserve to be loved. Together, we rise, because we are a rainbow. And as a rainbow, we rise above this earth. And if duffers truly are going to let us leave the ending up for interpretation, then I don't give a fuck what anyone else says or thinks, because I believe